Want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. All right, folks. Time for another crazy-ass white person.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, bro.
Illegally selling water without a permit
On my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
All right, y'all. White guy in Maryland called the police on two separate groups of black women who were at an apartment complex. It happened at the swimming pool inside of the Addition Apartments in Hyattsville, Maryland. It took place this weekend. Here's Poolside Nick in action.
Still recording.
Physically attacked by this woman.
Physically attacked? By who? He said these women earlier, now it's this woman. What's your story, baby? Because I haven't touched anybody. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never touched you. Recording. I'm sorry. That's funny, because your video is going to be a bunch of lies. White people love to lie on black women. White people, literally, this dude left his apartment. He left. I'm racist! Black. Actually, you can't get arrested for being racist, because you still out here. Come on. I didn't know black people can be racist. Black people cannot be racist. Y'all literally rape and steal people from land. Okay. So shut the fuck up. Still recording. I'm in my bikini. This man been following us for over a...
Well, then Poolside Nick posted his own video accusing these sisters of assault.
This is too much. This is fucking harassment. Please give me a
Guy L. Claude. Now, here's what's crazy here. First of all, so Poolside Nick, he said that that was a rule against using glass bottles by a pool. He decided to play George Zimmerman and be the cops. Joining us right now is Gael Claude, who is one of the sisters in that video. So, Gael, glad to have you in Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, hello everyone. So I'm glad that you were able to make the connection with Trayvon Martin, because I feel that on the whole way, home, just thinking about what we went through. I lived in Florida for a while, for most of my life, I guess. And that's all I was thinking about. It's the fact that, I'm sorry, it's just taking a while for me to get this out, but we, as people of color, everything we do is a crime. We were at the Addition apartment to sign our lease. We spoke to a leasing agent. We got there at 1:30. We toured the place. We fell in love with it. Everything was perfectly fine. The leasing agent invited us back to, enjoy, just kind of get a feel of the complex before we actually move in, which we were actually really excited about because not many places will allow you to do that. So just as I told in my caption on Twitter, we were by the pool. We were just enjoying the weather. Before I brought out the bottle, I did ask the lifeguard if it was permissible around the pool, because I do know that certain areas will not allow you to have glassware and whatnot. And the lifeguard was perfectly fine with it. Randomly, I caught Nicholas staring down from his balcony, which at first was okay because, that's normal. That's his place of residence. I didn't find that weird. It went on for a few minutes. Then I started feeling uncomfortable. Honestly, I wasn't thinking anything. And like I said, I know a lot of people have been saying Black people can't be racist. You literally cannot oppress the oppressor. So no, Black people cannot be racist. I wasn't thinking about color. I just waved just to let him know we're aware of his creepy actions.
Well, yeah. So look, you're by the pool, and both of you are there. You are both of you in bikinis. You're enjoying yourself. You have some wine there. You're trying to chill, and I don't care who you are. If some dude is staring at you constantly, you're like, what the hell is up with this guy? So he was watching you from his apartment, and then he decided. Did he yell anything towards y'all, or did he simply come downstairs and approach the two of you?
Well, that's the part that I guess that I couldn't put onto my tweet because you can use so many letters.
Well, don't worry about it. First of all, we got time. Not worry about Twitter. Go ahead.
Okay. So after I waved, him and his husband, Brian Starstreet, they were both on the balcony. I saw him going inside, so I thought it was done with. Again, I wasn't thinking anything of it. Then he came back out and he was like, lifeguard, these people down here, they have glassware. They are not allowed to be on this property, blah, blah, blah. And my first thought was like, how do you know we don't live here? And there was a couple grilling. There was there was a few kids in the pool. They were Hispanic, and another group of guys. They were playing dominoes and all of that. So my whole thing was like, okay, this is getting weird. It's getting weird. It's getting unsafe. So after he shouted all that stuff, it started like being a scene, and people were coming out of their apartment. It was just honestly like starting to be embarrassing.
Right.
So I'm a very vocal person. So I was just like, okay, well, if you feel so strongly about it, just come grab the bottle, and that's just going to be that. He came back. He went back into his apartment. He came back out with his cell phone and started recording. That's when it got really weird. And I'm like,
at any point, did management from the complex, did anybody call them? Did anybody call security? What was the lifeguard doing?
No.
So everybody's watching.
The lifeguard actually.
Go ahead.
No, the lifeguard actually went and talked to him, and he was like, yeah, like that's perfectly fine. They asked me if they could have the bottle, like everything is okay.
So the lifeguard tells Nick it's fine, but Nick still wants to play cop.
Yeah, and then he goes back into his apartment. He grabs his phone, then he starts recording. Like, I'm gonna take this to lease. They have to see this. You guys are breaking the rules, whatever. After that happened, he went back inside once again, and what did he do? Oh, he went back in. So I thought that was done for. I'm like, okay, what is he gonna do? Like, report it to the police office? They literally told us we could be here, so I wasn't thinking anything of it.
Right.
Randomly, a door comes open on the side of the pool, and he's like, on the YouTube clip, you could see he's like walking up to me, and I'm telling him the whole time, like, get out of my face, get out of my face, get out of my face, and he would not stop. And then that's when I, smacked the phone out of his hand. And of course, as a typical, they like to play the victim. He started saying that I assaulted him, and I mean, you can literally tell on the clip that his phone fell, and then he picked it up.
So we just played that particular video there. So after that happens, y'all decide, you know what?
And I was just like, this is too much. We just need to leave.
So y'all decide to leave, and then so you leave the property. Then he starts following you.
Yes. So we decided to leave. And then the lifeguard, there were a group of guys who were trying to get him to stop. But I mean, I don't know what happened with that. The lifeguard was also trying to get him to stop. Not really sure what happened. I was just worried about my safety and my friend's safety.
And the video we're playing right now, Gael, is that are you walking in a parking lot?
Yes.
So you walk in the parking lot.
We're walking in the parking lot of Home Depot.
Wait, hold up. So y'all have left the apartment complex.
Yes. So when things started escalating, I was just like, okay, we should leave. So as we're leaving, he tells his husband, Brian, he's like, call the police, call the police. They're fleeing the scene. There's literally no scene. Like, there's nothing
fleeing
going
the
on.
Scene?
He said, we're fleeing the scene. I cannot make this up. The Lord is listening. Yeah. Those were his exact words. So we're walking outside the complex. It's a pretty wide complex, so it took a while to get out. And as we're walking out, he's like, oh, I'm going to get this on camera. I'm going to get this on camera, which is very, it's hysterical that he would post a 16-second video when he was recording for a while. I'd say about 15 minutes.
So wait a minute. So y'all are walking for at least 15 minutes. He is behind you the entire time?
The entire time. So we started walking towards a complex called Altera, which is where Bria lives.
So
but
y'all. So wait, hold on. Wait 1 second. Y'all at one apartment complex. You walk past the Home Depot, and you're going to another apartment complex. And this dude
is where Bria lives.
And this dude is still behind you. And
He's still behind us.
Is he on the phone with police? Who is he talking to on the phone? His husband or?
So here is what happened. As we're walking towards the apartment complex, I started thinking, I'm like, no, we can't walk home because, I mean, like, we can't do that. We didn't know what he had on him. We just didn't know. So I was just like, let's cross the street and go into the Home Depot. So we were walking into the Home Depot, and like, we're crossing the street, we're into traffic, and I'm yelling to everyone. I'm like, this white man is following us, get him to stop. Like, he's been harassing us, and no
one helps.
No one's even looking. No one even looked twice. So I'm sorry. Like, that's really
No, I understand. Take your time.
I just kept thinking about the fact that this man could have had anything on him. He called the cops for no apparent reason. We weren't trespassing. There was no reason. So when we were in the Home Depot parking lot, which is where the clip was filmed, the one that I posted on my Twitter, he's, going off. He stopped recording, of course, to call the cops again to let them know, oh, these women assaulted me. He couldn't even get his story together. So I walked into the Home Depot, and I'm just like, okay, like, somebody please help. Like, there has to be security in here. This man won't stop following us. And that's when they called security. But by the time security got there, the cops that he called showed up. I'm very angry about the whole cop situation because
take your time.
When the cop showed up, he did the whole he said, she said thing, of course. And I hate to pull like the race card, but clearly it was a race thing, because if it was a couple of Caucasian women walking and a black man was following them, no questions would have been asked. The guy would have just gotten arrested. So when the cop came, he listened to our side of the story. He listened to Nick's side of the story. He asked us, oh my God. He asked for us to exchange information because Nick claimed that he got assaulted and we claimed
exchange information. This is not a car accident.
Exactly.
So if
exactly
he said he got assaulted, I mean, the law says that you go in, file a police report saying I was assaulted. You don't exchange it. You don't exchange information.
I think the cop was just playing like the whole like good cop game. He didn't want to get involved, so he asked us to exchange information, which is where Bria works as a paralegal, and I also work in a legal setting, so we know our rights. So
right.
We're like, there was no reason to give our information, and he asked for our
right.
ID.
Why in the hell am I gonna give the guy
address on it, our date of birth?
Right. So here's
I'm just like,
so here's what you need to understand. I mean, I've seen the statement from the apartment complex. We also now see the tweets from Nick, some very racist tweets that he's also sent out. What now? Anything police dealing with him? Is the apartment complex, do they plan on doing anything to him? Do you plan on?
So the funny thing is, everything happens for a reason. I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason. We called the complex to tell them what happened, and originally I called on Monday first thing in the morning. I called, and they said, okay, come in whenever you can, blah blah blah, we'll talk to you. Then I received a call again, and the lady, the person that called me, she was like, well, instead of coming in, why don't you write a statement and you can come in on Tuesday, at 1 p.m. So I don't know what changed, but I was like, okay, makes sense. I'll get all my proof together. In the meantime, so many people were writing me, telling me they experienced the same thing with him. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll use all of this evidence just to kind of
one second. So after you posted this on social media, other people reached out to you and said that they have had similar experiences with him in this same apartment complex.
Yes.
And when
about 4 to 5 people and within that one day.
And when you now, I take it you passed it on to the apartment managers. What did they say?
So when I called, exactly, the lady called me back, and when things like that happen and you receive a phone call, you're expecting things to work in your favor, especially when you haven't done anything wrong. The lady's first question was, how did you find out about our apartment? I'm like, I'm disgusted with them because they're worried about their publicity. Why do you care about where I found out about the apartment when in reality this could have turned into a homicide? I mean, how many times do black people, they're just minding their black business and a white person says something and the next thing you know, there's a black person on the pavement dead. So I'm like, well, maybe you would have liked the publicity if I were just dead on your pavement. Like, I mean, seriously. So they said that they've been working with them. I've been talked to them a few times today.
Right.
They're, according to this is what they're saying. I don't trust these people, but they said that they've been trying to get him out of the complex, but according to the law, there are a few things that they need to do. They're expecting to have him.
I'm trying to understand. Hold up. If somebody's in the apartment complex harassing other people, I don't think it's too hard to try to get somebody out, especially if they're doing the harassing. Final question for you. Did they even call in the lifeguard to say you were there? Can you tell us what happened? I actually
don't know what happened to the lifeguard, but I must say that yesterday when I went to talk to them in person, the leasing agent denied us being there. She said she doesn't even know how we got to the pool, when in reality, she gave us they have like a card that's like their key. She gave us the key to get there.
Whoa, wait. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The leasing agent
Who invited us back.
Who invited you back, who gave you a card key to access the pool, then denied she even knew y'all existed?
Yes, she did. She did. And you know what? I said, I'm not even going to argue this.
Wow.
This apartment is only a year old, so I know you guys have cameras everywhere. Just watch your footage. She gave us a tour. We toured room 160 at 1:30 on Sunday. So I'm just, that part, I was not even arguing it because I'm like, you have it on footage.
Have you reached out to the owner of this apartment complex, the company that owns it?
I did. I spoke to him today.
And what did he say?
It sounds like he's been doing his best to get Nicholas along with Brian evicted.
No. Hold on. I got that. I understand that. What the hell is he gonna do about this leasing agent?
Oh, so that part, he said that he's been dealing with them and talking to them. There was no real information that was disclosed in regards to that. But I did tell him that his his
check your cameras.
Exactly. His property manager with the assistant, they have called me and Bria to still ask us if we're moving in. And it's
whoa, time out. The leasing agent said y'all didn't even know y'all existed. Now they still want y'all to move in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. That is exactly what happened. So I think it's blatantly disrespectful. It is just rude.
Right.
There's no word to describe. Do they really? I mean, why would I give them my black behind dollars after they allowed that to happen? Like, no, I have no interest.
Gael Claude, we appreciate you joining us, sharing us with your story. It is certainly an experience you did not want to have to go through, but we thank you for sharing with our audience.
Thank you so much.
All right, keep us updated on what's happening. Folks, I keep telling y'all, this is the only way we're going to hold these police accountable for the crazy actions they take. But y'all got to do me a favor. I keep telling y'all, shoot the video this way so we can feel the whole screen. I'm just saying. All right, folks, we talked about, of course, what took place here in Washington, D.C. with the Metro police officers when basic conversation was going just fine. Then one cop was roll up, losing his damn mind, pushes a black man, ends up tasing him. They've now dropped the charges against that black man. But I want to go ahead and show you the video again. And again, for some of you who are triggered by these videos, you can turn away and then come back for the conversation. But this took place just a few days ago here in the nation's capital, which some people affectionately call Chocolate City.
My name is Shimmer. You mind if I stay here with you for a little bit? Because I want to make sure that y'all brothers taken care of, okay? I'm not putting you on camera at all. I just want to make sure that y'all all right? Because I see them looking at y'all, and what I'm not about to do is have none of y'all get hurt right now, all right? So my name is Shamir. We're going to stay right here, and we're going to make sure that everybody's taken care of, okay? What I don't want is one of these colonizers trying to get on y'all about some shit, because then I'm going to have to go off, and I ain't got my nails done, all right? So we're going to calm down real quick. All right. Hold on. Whoa. He's all right. Hold on. He's all right. Hey. Get the baby. Chill. Not necessary. Just get down. Yo, not necessary. That is not necessary. He's not even resistant. He is okay. Stop. Yo, I'm right here.
right, joining us right now is Shamir Jones, the woman who actually shot that video, and also joining us is Nene Tay. She's the lead organizer for Black Lives Matter DC. Glad to have both of you on Roland Unfiltered.
Thank you.
All right, have you got your nails done?
No.
Okay, when I first saw the video, I said, did she actually just say, I get my nails done?
I needed to be prepared, and I wasn't prepared, but I knew I needed to protect those babies.
So walk us through before. So what happened? So you were riding the subway, and then so walk us through what happened.
Honestly, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was on the Green Line at PG, took the wrong platform, and ended up going to College Park. And I said, well, I'm already out. Let's do some self-care. Maybe go to the park. Maybe flirt with somebody, get a cookie or something in D.C. So I get on the train and I go back and I say, because I live in Tacoma, so I pass my station and I go all the way to U Street. And the minute the doors open and they say doors opening, I literally walk out onto the platform and I bump right into the transit police officer. And it's two officers. One of them has his knee in the back between the shoulder blades of the 13-year-old little boy that you see in the video with the black shirt that's handcuffed. So his hands are behind his back. The other officer is pressing his face down into the cement, and baby boy is just huffing and puffing. You can tell that he's like trying not to physically break it. He's just trying to breathe because it's too much weight that's on his body. And so I look up really quick. I see the other two little boys that are in the corner screaming. I see Tapiwa, the gentleman that got tased. I see him kind of like, hey guys, I got it. I'm going to talk to the officers. We're going to let them know it wasn't you. And that's when I kind of just like dropped down, like right on my chest, like hands down. And I said, baby boy, I need you to blink twice if you're struggling to breathe. And he just kept blinking and blinking at me. I asked him to blink twice if he was under 18. He just kept blinking. And then I heard the officer start calling for backup. And when the other boys heard backup was coming, that's when they just started, you could just feel their fear. It was very, very palpable. You could feel the shift on the platform because we all recognized that something was getting ready to happen. And so I just started assessing the perimeter, like what's going on, who's here, who has their phone out, where's an adult, where's a guardian. And so once I realized that Tapiwa kind of, once they shifted the first little boy and they moved him onto the stool, once I noticed that he kind of had that under control, he was talking to the officers, I immediately went over to the other two boys. And that's where you hear me in the video, just trying to get their information. I figured if we die, we're all going to die. And somebody's going to know your name. Somebody's going to know where to find you. Somebody's going to know what happened today. And so my first instinct was just Facebook Live. I don't have to use my hands. I don't, like, everybody's going to see it. It's public. I don't have to filter this. And literally it was just my family, my friends, what's going on? Where are you? And I just kept recording.
Henry, roll the video again. Pull the audio down, please. And so, because I want to walk us through. So when we're watching this video, and I know you're having to deal with this again. So right now, we see there's a young man sitting on the bench.
That's the one I ran into initially that was on the ground.
So initially you ran into him, he was on the ground, and then they sat him on the bench.
Yes.
Okay. And so the brother who was talking to them, how did he enter the picture? How did
he? So say they're train A, I'm train B on the other side of the platform. There's maybe about a 3-minute difference between when they arrived and this initially started from when I actually exit onto the platform. So he was already there, letting the police officers know, as well as about 4 other eyewitnesses. These are not the boys that you all are looking for. We just got off the train with them. These are not the ones.
So right there. So they were. So why did they stop them? They were looking for...
So what an officer told me about an hour and a half into this whole situation was that they received a phone call saying that a group of African-American teens were on the trains and the platform using fireworks. They did not say sticks. They said fireworks. And they said that they were using the fireworks at the passengers. So I asked the officer, where did the call come from? And he pointed down to the exit by Cordozo. But we were all at 13th and V exit. And I said, sir, that's about a 4-block walk outside. So how do we get from one side of the platform to the other where apparently the crime committed? I said, how many teens were there? Because this is only 3. So this is the triad. This is a threesome. This is a group. Like this isn't that group that you're talking about. Where are the smoke alarms? Where's the residue? Did you ask them to empty their pockets? Are there any lighters, any matches? Where's the person that got hurt? Where are the other passengers that were on the train that apparently saw this as well? Where are the cameras? Where are the guardians? Where are the parents? They're 13.
So they just snatched three young black men.
Mm-hmm.
3 young black kids.
And then when this, and so again, I want you to cue the video, please. I need to walk. For folks who are watching, I'm trying to establish. We did this yesterday, walking people through. So freeze it right there, Henry. Freeze it right there. So this conversation, we really can't hear him talk to the officer. Is it a calm conversation?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm not seeing that those two officers upset, mad. You can roll it, please. Roll a video. At one point, you will see the officer on the right. I think he'll tap the young brother.
He touches the boy
on his shoulder. You can tell. I guess he's asking, "Are you okay?" or something like that. He pats him. Stop. And so you're standing there watching it.
Yes.
And again, the conversation is calm.
We're finally getting some type of understanding.
And you think, as you are watching this, Henry, now bring audio up. Bring audio up. Now press play.
About some shit, because then I'm going to have to go off, and I ain't got my nails done, all right? So we going to calm down real quick.
Stop. So we see the officer on the right. I see him hold his hand up, like, okay. Then all of a sudden, this guy from the right just comes in.
Oh, Captain Planet? Yeah.
He's a captain?
No, that's what I call him in my head, because I couldn't
No,
find
in
it.
a
Gotcha. Okay, I'm just making sure.
I couldn't read the badge.
So was he on the scene in it, like near there? So you're recording, so you didn't even see him coming to your right.
No, I think you can hear me in a different audio that I have. I think I call him Sonic the Hedgehog.
You did.
It was.
Yeah, you said.
It was so fast. Like when Tapia was speaking with the officers and the little boy that's sitting.
So first of all, the gentleman who they stopped, had you known him before this?
No.
Okay.
I know no one on the platform.
Got it. Okay, go ahead.
None of them, Tapia doesn't even know the children. None of us knew any of each other.
Got it.
So when I recognized that he's sitting and he's talking with the little boy and the police officer seemed calm and there's also another black brother that's recording it, I said, okay, maybe this is a little bit safer. Let me go make sure that the other two babies are good. And that's when I started engaging, trying to get information, talking to the other eyewitnesses, what's going on, because I'm thinking, what do I need to tell his mother when she finds out that something's happening to her child? So I'm trying to get all this information and just kind of calm them down, because I see more officers coming down from my left-hand side, because remember, they called for backup. So I see another 5 officers descending the escalator. The trains are still operating. People are still moving on and off the platform, and they're still coming down. And that's why I tell the boys, all right, guys, you have every right to be upset. You have every right to be pissed. You have every right to want to curse. You have every right to feel what you're feeling. But, however, knowing what I know about our police system and our justice system as a whole, just America in general, the minute they hear your voice, they've already seen your color. The minute they hear your voice, you're a threat.
And once
that's it.
Once you have a little bass, all of a sudden it's a whole different deal.
And I've got a smoker's voice, so I had to be aware of that too. I'm tattooed, I've got locks, I've got a head wrap on. I'm the only female that's on this platform right now. If you see me as a threat, then who's going to protect these babies?
Henry, so now I want to play it, and again, I know it's difficult for you to watch, but play it again. Keep audio up. I'm also going to narrate over it. So this officer, he immediately comes in. He's laying hands.
Completely.
And what gets me is,
and you see the push. There's no balled up. There's nothing. There's no aggressive body language.
You see now. Stop, Henry. Stop. So you see the cop right there in the middle.
Yes.
So what he did was, folks, he motioned to the other officer who's in the white to come right here. Okay. Now, not at any point did those two, frankly, go to the officer and say, yo, man, calm down. I need you to chill. We got it under control. This guy on the right comes in and immediately escalates this whole situation. Go ahead and play it, Henry. You circle by to get a different angle. Now you're seeing him tasing, and brother does not appear to be moved by the taser. Then all of a sudden, now they take him to the ground. He's tasing him again. He tells you to back up.
Because I was on him. I don't even remember how quickly I got over there, but I just said, somebody grab these babies, and I ran over to him. And this is the part where he almost rolls over off the platform. Mind you, the trains are running every 3 to 5 minutes.
He can't fucking move. He's down. Leave him alone. He is down. He is down.
So, Nene, I want to bring you in because, again, to me, this is just very basic. You have 2 officers who are having a conversation with this brother, and it's calm. Cop comes in, young white cop comes in, immediately escalates the situation, and it goes from a simple, calm conversation to now, tasers out, takedown, and we remember what took place in Oklahoma when they had some kind of drug sting, whatever, and the brother took off, and when 3 or 4 officers held him to the ground, some reserve cop who was like 70 years old pulls his gun out, and, I thought I pulled my taser out, and he shot and killed the brother. That literally could have happened right here.
Exactly. Easy. Right now in D.C., the black community is being attacked. We at war. We literally at war with transit police and MPD. They're being trained now to use military tactics on the black community. In the poor communities, they're literally being trained now to use military tactics on us. And anytime there's something where they feel that they're at fault, it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate because they have to have a reason for their actions. Just like with the statement, when Shamir reached out to me, and I was like, she told me it was okay to share the video on our platform. And I spoke with Shamir, and she was telling me the story. I was like, no, this can't happen. And that's when I got in touch with the different councilmen, Black Lives Matter, because we have a rapport with the councilmen, even though we feel like they're not doing enough when it comes to transit police nor MPD. Transit police has no oversight in D.C. That's the problem. So for us, Black Lives Matter, we were part of decriminalizing just for the black kids not to get locked up for not being able to pay the fare on the bus. So what's going on with transit police is not new to us. So now there's another way to criminalize our black children. Now they can't stop them for not having 50 cents or $1 to get on the bus. So now the littlest thing they do now is to criminalize black kids, especially when there's a gang of them. So I don't know, just like she just said, I don't know what, I guess, walking while being black. I don't even know if it was
just breathing.
Kids walking while being black, because I don't even know if it was a call. So that's what we want to know. Let us hear the tape. Let us hear the call with someone complaining about some kids in the metro letting off fireworks.
Well, we've actually run a number of these videos on this show, and there have been other examples where black person involved was not even involved in it. They're being detained. Cop says, "Well, no, we're just checking. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Why are you detaining me?" The case out of Texas, where the brother was in his front yard, and then the cop said, "Oh, you had as a warrant out in Louisiana." He's like, "Wait a minute, hold up. I ain't even never been in Louisiana." And his wife is sitting there, and again, it's as if he's being detained while you were trying to check something out, and it's like, wait a minute, hold up. So what it goes to is, how did you even get to the point of stopping those young men? Like what specifically was it? So what you're saying is, let's hear something so I can hear clothing that match or something. Otherwise, you just had to snatch 3 black boys and say, okay, we're just going to hold y'all and see if all of a sudden it all matches up. And what we also know is, while we doing this, we're running your names.
But at the same time, it was a call for backup.
For what?
Everything was de-escalated, and we're talking. They're talking to the kids. Everything's calm. Why call for? She told me 10 or 20 more cops came to the scene.
Wow.
And there were at least
four, three black kids.
There were at least 4, maybe 5 squad cars up on the top platform of U Street by the time we got out. And I just kept telling the officers, like, their mama's not here. So until their mama shows up, I'm their mama. And you don't talk to them. They don't leave 2 feet away from me. I told those boys, I grabbed 2. I don't even remember who these black girls are, but I just thank them so much. They were recording, and I said, I need y'all to watch these babies for me. I said, nobody talks to them except for me. I said, when I come back over here, that's when you let them go. Sit on them, feed them, do what you got to do. Sumo wrestle these boys down. But none of these cops put their hands on them, and they said, okay. And then that's when I went back over, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on. The whole issue is we were asking questions, and that's what was making me so frustrated about it. Not just all the people that were just looking around. Like, everybody's so excited on Twitter about Ava's documentary about When They See Us and the Exonerated 5, and we almost just had a Central Park 3. That's what we just had here. And everyone's, oh my goodness, something's happening. Let me get on the train. Let me go. And a part of me doesn't even want to fault them for it because I hesitated when I got off that train because I've got bills. I'm a poor black single woman too. I've got 2 college degrees that I've got to pay off. All these things are playing through my head. What am I going to tell my job when I'm locked up and I don't have no bail money? And then you get fired.
Yeah, but because the fact of the matter is,
and that's the reality.
At one point when you step forward and the cop says, I need you to back up, we've seen other instances. Again, we ran a video where a brother was driving, the brother was in the car, was recording, and then all of a sudden they snatch this brother out of the car and come around and arrest the brother who's recording, who actually did nothing.
Yes.
And we know how they treat black women. We know how they treat black bodies in general. What about the sister that was getting tackled by the officers and her body parts and everything all exposed? I was very aware of the fact that I was a black woman on that platform by myself. I have to be aware. It's 2019. I've got to live that every day. But I also have to be aware of you. Like, I'm a foster kid back from Pennsylvania. I know the sounds of having your kids or your siblings snatched away from you. I know what that pain sounds like. I know what that feels like in your spirit. And there was no way, even after my hesitation, there was no way after hearing those 2 boys, like, in the back, just let my brother go, let him go, let him go. There was no way that I was going to let that happen because that took me back to where I was when I'm just begging and pleading for just a conversation, just an answer. Just tell me what's happening so that way I can act accordingly. And it was what I had wanted somebody to do for my baby. I don't even have kids, but my womb was just clenching like in fear just then because I knew we were dying. There wasn't a doubt. There wasn't a question. There wasn't a, I hope this doesn't turn out some way. It was, let me get on video. Let me say my name. Let me get these boys' names because we're getting ready to die. And all of these people are going to witness it.
And the reality is, this is why we encourage people to video and we have to protect ourselves. We keep us safe. And people always say, only thing that Black Lives Matter do is hold up a camera or tell people to video, all these videos. That's what's keeping them safe. I can assure you, if Shamir wouldn't have done what she done, it was a 90% chance those little kids would have been the kids that they arrested, held them, and made up stories because the police are trained to lie. Clearly by the statement that the chief of police made, everything that in that statement was a lie. Was a total lie. And so therefore, her videoing and taking that time out, and this is why we ask people in D.C., we beg you guys, even if you have to stand back, please video the police right now because the police are not keeping black people safe in marginalized communities. Their job is to protect property and get us out of here and build wealth in D.C.
The three young boys, what happened?
They're home. I stayed the entire time.
I wasn't video.
And they were not the ones
they
involved.
watched video.
And they were not involved at all. But if the police had
So now you have 3 young boys
traumatized
who had to go through a traumatic experience, something they never did.
Yep.
And that's what they were saying. That's what eyewitnesses were saying. That's what everyone was saying. We're just trying to talk to you. Like, isn't that what all these presidential Democratic candidates are talking about? To have these town halls. Let's get to talking to the community. Let's see what they need from us. Let's do police reform. And then literally the public is trying to do that. Actively. I was trying to do that with you. I'm not even a DC resident. I'm trying to talk to you. And you decided that you wanted to escalate the situation.
And the brother who got tased, charges dropped?
Yes, after 2 days of being locked up.
They're actually in touch with us
after
now.
2 days.
He was in for 2 days?
2 days.
They kept him from Saturday. He didn't get released till Monday at 1 o'clock. With everybody calling and the counselor, and I'm sure
on Instagram.
They saw it and they didn't want that smoke.
But see, this is also, to your point, when you hesitated, that when these things happen, it's why folks also are afraid to step in and intervene.
Completely.
Because I don't want to spend 2 days in jail. I don't want to somehow get roped in. So you know what?
I don't want to die.
Exactly.
And Jamal, that's y'all.
I don't want to die.
Right.
Yeah. And the reality is that it's, you have to make that call, right? I do this work because Harriet Tubman did it for me. I do this work because Rosa Parks did the work, right? Someone got to do the work to get us free, to get us liberated. And so therefore, if that's not what you can do, like I just said, you don't even have to stand close. A video speaks louder than a statement. You know what I mean?
Final comment, Shamir. You clearly are still bothered by this. I can see you. I can see you trembling right here.
Yeah. We actually trying to get her some therapy, but we trying to raise funds now. And I shared her Cash App on Twitter because she had to process this, and she had to process it with someone with a professional, because I was just telling her, as far as Black Lives Matter, we do this work, but we do healing. We have therapists. And so right now we're in the process where we do have one of our healers that's going to speak with her, because she's traumatized by this. She's traumatized. So we're really trying to get her a therapist to process this work for her.
Go ahead. Final comment.
Yeah.
This whole idea of Black Lives Matter was created for moments just like this, because Black lives have always mattered, to us at least. But if Black lives truly matter, my main concern right now is what's going to happen after this video dies out, after the shock is over. Are we going to continue to be disengaged? Are we going to continue to be desensitized to what it is that we see? Are we going to continue scrolling through an article just to see whether or not the Black person died? What are we going to do afterwards? And I think it's extremely incumbent upon, especially all of these political hotheads that are here. I care about the babies in Syria. I care about the babies in detention centers. But I also care about my Black babies walking down the street that aren't allowed to just breathe or listen to go-go music or go to school. Tamir Rice was 12. These boys were 13.
Yes.
These boys were 13. They were the next Tamir. How old was Corey and Youssef and the rest of them from New York? They were the same exact age. I have a 13-year-old little brother. And that was my brother at that moment. That was my brother, my father, my seed. That was my future. That was my past. That was everything. And there was no way in hell that they were dying by themselves. And so right now, all of this, I've been tweeting politicians. I haven't slept since Saturday night, and I've been tweeting everybody. I don't care about what you're about to do for clearing the college debt, Bernie Sanders. I don't care. You don't care about reparations. You didn't care about the Black women at the panel that were trying to speak to you. You all don't care about Black trans lives. You all don't care about Black boys. You don't care about the over-sexualizing of Black women. So when are you really going to start caring? Because you keep trying to shut us up with all lives matter. So show me. Show me that all lives matter. You can't multitask. Kamala Harris can't multitask. Elizabeth Warren can't multitask. Cory Booker can't multitask. None of them can. But it's going to be cool when it's a hashtag. It's going to be cool when all of a sudden this airs on TV, and now it's, oh my goodness, it's the hot story. Let's talk about it. Let's have a town hall. Go talk to Miss Melissa Laws, the mother of the little boy that's traumatized. Go talk to the little boys that are traumatized. Talk to Tapiwa. Talk to the people on the platform that are traumatized by that. Those are the ones you need to be speaking to. Fuck your police. Fuck the other people in power that you're talking to. Get down in the goddamn gutter and talk to the people that are down there that are Black, that are poor, that are hungry, that don't have the educational system, don't have the creative outlets, don't have the mental health support. Taraji P. Henson was just talking to Congress, was she not? Senate, whoever the fuck it was. Come talk down here. Is this your city? Wale, this is your city. Kevin Durant, this is your city. Come down to your damn city, because they are killing your boys. They're killing your boys. That's,
Well, we appreciate, first of all, for you stepping up and doing this. One, we'll get the information from you regarding your Cash App. What we also would do is I will be calling Kevin Washington. Kevin was with the Association of Black Psychologists. He's often been on our show. And I'll reach out to him, as well as Dr. Jeffrey Gardier, also known as American Psychologist. These are two folks who frequently come on our show. And so what we'll do is we'll definitely call them and have them definitely connect with you and talk with you. That way, they're not based here, but at least these are two of our strongest Black psychologists.
They better be Black.
Huh?
I said, yeah, they better be Black.
Oh, I got this. Hold on, I got this. Hold on, I got a list. I got a list of Black psychologists. Don't worry about that. So I can. No, you ain't got to ask that question with me. I got that. I figured that out. And so I will personally hit both of them up. And then have them reach out to you, and we appreciate certainly keep us up to date of what's going on.
We need people to tweet to get that cop off the street.
Yeah, he's still patrolling.
He's patrolling our streets, our subways right now. Okay. So tweet Metro Transit Metro and get that cop off the street.
All right, Nene, Ms. Jones, we appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks
for
a bunch.
having us.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. Folks, many of you missed it, but now is a chance for you to participate in this new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last one. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill recently passed in Congress, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, and this makes for an incredible investment opportunity. That's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is very simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Like I said, you don't want to miss out. Folks, you can go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game and get in the game now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. So just so y'all understand, I put this tweet out, and again, look, I know 15 million people saw the debate last night. I appreciate that. I understand. But I need to show y'all this because you need to understand how this stuff must stay in perspective in terms of what's going on. I'm looking for, it was a tweet, and here it is, okay? Go to my iPad, please. This was a tweet that was sent out by this, and it says, polling at this point in the GOP race in 2015. Jeb Bush, 22%, Scott Walker, 17%, Marco Rubio, 14%, Ben Carson is 11%, Mike Huckabee, 9%, Rand Paul, 7%, Rick Perry, 5%, Ted Cruz, 4%, Chris Christie, 4%, Carly Fiorina, 2%, Donald Trump, 1%. Do y'all understand? What I'm trying to explain to you is a whole lot of stuff is going to change. I could pull up polling numbers from 2007 at this point showing Barack Obama down 25 plus points to Hillary Clinton. I'm just letting y'all know, right? A lot's going to change between now and January. Most of these folks are going to be dropping out, okay? People down there, 1%. De Blasio, he ain't going to be there. Delaney, he ain't going to be there. Swalwell, he ain't going to be there. All the people going to be gone. Just letting y'all know that, okay? Look, and it's some nice people, but they ain't going to make it. So we ain't about to spend a whole lot of time going over one debate when there's going to be 18 more between now and January. But Lauren, I want to go to you. This is the thing that what I did see last night, which I think has to continue, because I think this is where the Democrat electorate is. You have to also understand the animal you're running against. This ain't time for love. In the words, in fact, Erica Alexander, I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to play it for y'all, because I remember y'all played it before. She broke down where we are. Democrats have to assume a fighting posture.
Yeah.
All this bullshit of Joe Biden, oh no, I'll be able to work with them once Trump gone. No. This is called when we take over.
That's right.
Yeah.
We about to take over. This means that if we take control of the Senate, y'all ain't. We about to run a train. It's gonna be a speed train.
I thought you gonna read that stage.
I'm just saying.
It's one of the reasons.
They have to assume a fighting posture.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why paying attention to these 20 people, though tedious at this point, it does matter, because you do have to figure out which one of these 20 people can get on the stage with Donald Trump and at least equal him in speed and ferocity to a point where they can win the
embarrass
election.
him.
Right. And you see Biden, of course, trying to appeal to some of the Trump voters. You saw Delaney last night try the same thing, which is sort of comical. And of course, Ryan from Ohio. And to me, I'm just looking at the people who I think can take on Donald Trump, which actually ends up being Warren and de Blasio and
people who can get out there and really match him. Because if Trump stays in that White House another 4 years, we got a huge, huge problem.
Because first of all, he's gonna be. Y'all think this unfiltered?
Right.
Greg, I'm gonna go to you. And I'm gonna go to Professor Driscoll. Here's the piece, Dr. Carr, that I think is critically important when you talk about fighting. It's not that I'm gonna get in the gutter with Trump, but what it is I'm gonna stand on the edge of that gutter and kick your ass in the head.
No question.
I ain't gonna get down there. See, I think other Democrats go, I don't even just want to go. No, I want to. I'm like all that.
When they go low, we go
I know
high.
Michelle Obama said when they go low, we go high. No, hell no.
Right.
When you in a fight,
Right.
and if there's a tire iron sitting right here,
Right.
you don't go. Well, no, we should punch with our hands. No. I want to knock your ass out.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna grab a tire iron, a 2x4. I'm gonna grab a pipe, anything to end this fight. That's how Republicans play.
Oh, no question. And Donald Trump is the worst kind of human being. He's deeply insecure. He's a racist. He's a sexist, which is why an Elizabeth Warren just gets under his skin in a visceral way.
Right.
Now, and what she did by leading out yesterday, although she kind of faded in hour 2 when she didn't jump in it as much, her opening statement almost folded in just about every note you want to hear.
Right.
The non-white populations, the attacking the corporations. And she not only matches Trump, she exceeds him. Her mere presence offends him. He hates women.
Right.
And when she opens her mouth, she's a college professor. So unlike Bernie Sanders, who I think also kind of rankles him, but Elizabeth Warren, he has no answer for Elizabeth Warren. A Warren Booker ticket, for example. I think he couldn't beat Warren Booker. I don't think. That's just
I think
Warren Harris.
Warren Harris. Professor Driscoll. You saw how Jeff Sessions was pissed with Harris. He was like, good point, black woman, ass on my ass.
I mean, it goes back to your earlier point, right? Fundamentally, I think going up against a woman of color,
that's true,
would irritate Trump to no end.
It's true.
And I think Senator Harris could not only hold her own, she's articulate, she's smart, she knows the issues, she was a prosecutor, right? So she can obviously appeal to that middle America because she has maybe some issues in her background that she might have to clear up a
I'm
bit.
not sold on Kamala Harris.
But I do fundamentally think that she could go up against Trump, and because that's what he's going to need. That's what he's going to need.
But I think that, and this is the thing that also, Lauren, I heard Congressman Tim Ryan was Stephanie Rule on MSNBC today.
Yeah.
And look, Ryan's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I've talked to him many times.
Yeah.
We've texted, we've talked.
Yeah.
And Ryan's telling her about our messages, muddle, we need this, we need that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you ain't done it.
Right.
I've said to him directly, do it.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell you waiting on?
Right.
Do it.
Right.
And it's like, no, this whole deal, and I'm going, no. I think also what this thing requires, and I've said this directly to Senator Bernie Sanders, and Warren's doing it.
Right.
It's also going to require a Democratic candidate to go to white folks and say, you know y'all ass is broke.
Yeah. Well, see,
that's what it.
Right. The RFK spirit. But see, the other thing too is it's going to require Obama-level turnout. So inherently, your top of ticket or bottom of ticket is going to probably be a person of color, and frankly, a black person.
It fundamentally has to be.
It's got to be energy, and it's got to overtake all the suppression. So the level of turnout's got to overtake the suppression issue. But also, you're going to have somebody out, and this is why Joe Biden, I think, is not going to be the nominee. You have got to have somebody who is fearless, who is smart, and who is fast out there, and who is willing to get, I frankly think, in the gutter with Donald Trump.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying you.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't got it. Okay. What I'm saying is, if this the gutter, I'm saying, if this is the gutter, I ain't getting down there. I'm gonna stomp. I'm gonna do. I ain't getting down there, but I'm gonna. And then I'm gonna get a stick, and I ain't getting down there. I'm gonna punch the in the gut. That's what it is.
Right. Do you think a woman ticket could win, though?
I don't think a completely woman ticket.
I'm not a believer that you need a white male on that ticket.
Hold on. First of all, I'm the same way. Hold on. I'm the same way. No, I do not believe that with a white male.
Right.
Because I think let's remember, Hillary Clinton got 3 million more
Right.
votes than Trump.
Right.
True.
Let's just go there.
The problem was Hillary Clinton, who wasn't a candidate, still got more 3 million. Right.
What happened?
Good point.
Is that Robbie Mook ran a shitty campaign.
Exactly.
They were stuck in their iPads.
Right.
They didn't understand what was happening on the ground in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania.
Right.
They poured all that money in Ohio where they got their ass waxed by 450,000 votes. Y'all, when you lose by 450,000 votes, whatever polling your ass was doing, those people should never work in politics again.
Exactly.
But so I think, so this whole notion of America won't elect a woman president, will there be men who will not vote for a woman? Yes. But the difference is, and I've said it because I thought she should have run in 2016, and I think we're seeing it, and I'm telling y'all, the difference with Warren, he'll try to hit her with Pocahontas. But the difference with Warren is, she will look him in the eye and she say, I've been fighting men just like you, my whole life.
Yes, you will.
Right.
See, you can see.
That's true.
And remember that Warren...
Biden is gonna, this whole congenial...
Biden is going to sell, I'm a white guy, and so I should go up against this other white guy, and I should appeal to Trump voters. He's going to sell that. But the problem is, of course, if you remember, Bernie Sanders was polling over Trump. Warren is basically a female version of Sanders, but she's a lot sharper and quicker than he is. And I think, frankly, a little bit more of I think she's more incisive in her attacks and in her way of just sort of presenting during a debate. That I think Trump is going to have a problem with him.
She was definitely smart,
So tonight, we'll see what happens tonight. Of course, you're going to have Biden on stage, Sanders on stage, Senator Kamala Harris on stage. You're going to have Williamson and Yang on stage. All different people like that.
Right.
But again, I just think where folks are now. This is really, and some of y'all, I'm seeing these comments. Y'all need to understand. I ain't playing. Y'all need to understand. We ain't playing games here. This is not about the next 3 or 4 years.
That's right.
Y'all need to understand.
Take some time.
Literally. I need y'all to understand why I use Trump Lives Matter, why I use We Tried to Tell You the hashtag, why I hold this man in contempt, why you do not hear me ever refer to him as president or Mr. because he does not deserve those titles because he has no respect. I'm trying to get y'all to understand that what we are dealing with literally, is the future of the country.
Yep.
Right.
What we're dealing with ain't the next 4 years. No. It's literally the next 25 to 50. I will be 74 in the year 2043.
Inshallah. You make it. Black men ain't guaranteed.
I'm just letting y'all know. Right now, my dad is 72.
Come on.
I'll be 73. Do you actually think I want to see an America that's now a majority of people of color and the Republicans have locked in power for the next century? Again, this ain't about Republican, Democrat. This is about issues. This is about the planet.
It's about power.
This is about education. This is about civil rights.
That's right.
I can go down the whole line.
Inslee made the point. This is about climate change.
This is
going to destroy the planet. Seriously.
And folks are sitting here running around thinking like, oh, okay, I hear you, but this really ain't important. No.
Roland,
I'm not playing that game.
If you live in Miami, if you live in New York City, and Little Haiti in Miami, for example, now they realize that's prime real estate because as the water rises, it's on high ground. Now you see them getting literally pushed out of their neighborhood because they need that property. What I'm saying is, so when these right-wingers sold out to these corporations, when you see them basically erasing regulations, they're going to make it so that if you don't have any money in this country, you're going to die. In New Orleans, you're not going to be alive. Do you understand it's going to be underwater? I mean, please, I'm glad you're making this point, Roland. You got to keep hitting that. And Kamala Harris, if Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren on a ticket together could be... You're right. She'll get in the gutter, but Kamala ain't gonna get in the gutter and be nasty. She's gonna get in the gutter with shade. And you're right. There is a hatred there. But we're not playing for 4 years. You're absolutely right. We're playing for the future of basically human life in many ways.
You gotta fight. And so here's the deal, y'all. I know we have some other stories. I'm gonna get to those tomorrow. But I'm gonna end the show. This was the interview that I did with Erica Alexander. Y'all remember her from Living Color. She's down on Black Lightning, and I did an interview with her along with Be Woke Vote. And I want y'all to listen to the end of what she said here, because this is really where I am, and this is where y'all need to be as well.
You either going to help run it or they're going to run it for you. In order to get anything done in this world, we have to work with the system that's there. And you have to have the courage of your convictions. You may despise me, you may not understand my choice, but at least you can respect that I stood in it. If you're outside the mainstream, no one can push you aside any further. Life makes you jaded, and it hurts you, and it's painful. And we've had a lot of pain in this country. Trump can show up and say anything, and they can just go, oh, yeah.
And the African-American community was great to us. They didn't vote.
You know, he just called you stupid. Did you hear that? But he's for us. Really? And they were just regurgitating the things that they had heard on a radio or in the barbershop or something somebody had told them. They hadn't thought about it. Democracy is in danger because people don't know how to think. I'm done with trying to convince people to try to vote for their, for their life. You have to run for your life. I'm going to go try to get people who are open to it and lead them. I'm done with hope. Fuck hope. Bye. That's
it.
That's
I mean,
it.
Now look. Now let me go here. So I know some of y'all probably say, damn, Roland, I ain't never heard you cuss this much. This actually happened. Number of years ago, Nightline, Ice-T was on Nightline with Ted Koppel and Dr. Alvin Toussaint. And so they sit on the show and they're talking about lyrics and stuff like that. And so Ted Koppel goes, Ice-T, what is it about, the language? And Ice-T says, Ted, y'all understand, if I could get this clip. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send an email to somebody at ABC. I need to get just this clip. Ice-T said, Ted, you need to understand something. He said, black people cuss for emphasis. He said, for instance, white people will say, Johnny, put down that knife. Black people, Johnny, put down that goddamn knife. He said, it creates a whole different tone. Ted Koppel goes, Dr. Toussaint, your thoughts on what Ice-T had to say? Alvin Toussaint, Harvard professor, all degrees, goes, well, Ted, Ice-T has a point. So sometimes when you hear Erica say, fuck hope,
come on,
fight.
Come on.
That's 3 words.
There it is, brother.
That 3 words right there sums it all up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Okay, y'all. I really... Matter of fact, you know what? Could y'all go ahead and play... I was supposed to do this with another story. Could y'all play the Crazy Is White People Stinger? I think this earns that distinction. Could y'all go ahead and play it? Get it ready for me.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, bro.
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey! I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, y'all. So, who is this week's contestant? Bill O'Reilly. So, just the other day, of course, last week they had the hearings on Capitol Hill about reparations. Well, Bill O'Reilly, the man who sexually harassed numerous women, had to pay out $32 million in settlements as a result. Bill decided to weigh in on the issue of reparations. Bill O'Reilly sent this tweet out. Please pull it up. Slavery reparations is a far left favorite because it does a number of things. It reinforces the radical belief that the United States was founded by racist white men who installed a system whereby white guys would run everything and blacks, women, and others would be exploited. Bill, you do know that's actually what the hell happened. You do know when the Constitution was created And they were writing the Declaration of Independence, and they were writing all them wonderful little everybody created with inalienable rights, all men are created equal. All men are created equal. They were actually not talking about black men. You do know when the laws were put in place that allowed slavery, white folks weren't slaves. You do know that those laws were on the books. You do know that the Supreme Court actually invalidated one of the Civil Rights Act by saying that not only was it wrong for what Congress did, the Supreme Court even ruled that Congress could not even pass a law to stop Jim Crow. You do know all that stuff happened. You are familiar with the Dred Scott decision. You are familiar with Plessy v. Ferguson. I mean, you do know that. I mean, you do know that those same white men had slaves, including the first president, George Washington, including Thomas Jefferson. You do know. I'm just trying to understand, did you get punched by the Toronto General Manager's GM and suffer a concussion, and you somehow forgot those things? I'm just trying to understand exactly what school you went to. Now, this is the same Bill O'Reilly who actually writes so-called history books, which clearly means that somebody else is writing the books. All he's doing is putting his name on the books. Y'all, this is why people like Bill O'Reilly have no business even having a television show. See, this is the sort of the nonsense that you see that emanates from people like him. And of course, all the folks who follow him on the Fox News, when you listen to Laura Ingraham and listen to Tucker Carlson and all those folks, I mean, literally say stuff and you go, what world are y'all living in? I could not even give you a list of books to somehow prove that what he said is wrong. I mean, I don't have to. I mean, it's kind of there. I mean, it's sort of like right there. The laws are there. I mean, I dare say the biggest member of the KKK would like, David Duke probably would say, damn, Bill, you stupid. I mean, that's how unbelievably asinine Bill O'Reilly is. So, Bill, just do all of us a favor, okay? Take all of the money that you have, that you kept after putting your hands on all these women and, of course, leaving them sexually charged voicemails, the woman who worked for your show. And remember you talking about, what's that shower thing? It's not a, what they call that thing? It's not a poloofa. No, it's whatever, you know, it was a loofah. There you go. Bill was talking about what he wanted to do with her with the loofah. Why don't you just go sit your ass in a corner somewhere and just keep all the millions you've earned on radio and at Fox News and stop tweeting, because you clearly are dumb as hell, and just allow us to deal with the stupidity of the people who followed you. I mean, just stop, please, for the sake of people with brains. And in fact, Bill, you're embarrassing white people. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody white going, damn, can we trade him in the lottery? Can we trade him in? Can we pick up Clarence Thomas for Bill O'Reilly? I'm just saying. You know, because Clarence Thomas, you know, he ain't got a problem with black people getting kicked off juries. I don't know what in the hell to make of these folks this week. I really don't get it. You know, when y'all had your next conservative convention, what you gonna do, Malik, when Bill and Clarence show up?
Well, Bill does not need to show up at all. What Bill said is ridiculous. It aligns with no history that we know of here in the United States at all. And this is one of those situations where, you know, in this case, he's a conservative, saying things to preach to a choir who should be just silent on things that really, when we're talking about race, he literally makes no sense in what he's saying. To say that this country was not founded by racist people, and
Jason,
white women. You know, the thing is, I've actually found this tweet to be very alarming. I was like. It was funny at first, and then I was like, yo, this is alarming. Because as you said, he's got all these books, Killing Lincoln, Killing this one, Killing Thomas Jefferson. He has all these books, and people consume them thinking they're getting real history. you know.
Oh, no, you have Dinesh D'Souza, who literally out there, Jason, Teresa, who is tweeting constantly saying Republicans never owned slaves. And Kevin Cruz, a white historian, is dropping the receipts, and they're like, no, didn't happen. I mean, and what they're doing, Teresa, they are literally creating this alternative universe, these alternative facts. And you got white folks running around, you know, retweeting them and repeating it, and because they act as if
Dinesh D'Souza won't respond to my tweets.
I mean, it's just I mean, that to me is how crazy it is, because these people actually going, yeah, say it, Dinesh. And I'm like, y'all, he's a dumbass.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
When I first saw that tweet, the two words that stood out to me was radical belief, because when you even mention the word radical, it means extreme or something drastic. So for Bill O'Reilly not to have any concertion about what's real and what actually happened, and for it to be a far left decision, you know, for Democrats to stand on, is very alarming, especially for someone who has, one, such a huge profile of followers, who has spoken at so many institutions and organizations post his release. And it just really, you know, it really does come down to what you said, Roland, as in the alternative history, you know, and what does that history that, you know, people are trying to change or are not trying to bring up? And you know, what is this new history? So it's a lot of questions here. And I hope, you know, this was a learning experience, and I hope we're keeping all these tweets, you know, part of a database, because these people can't be forgotten. We can't not mention, you know, these influential individuals and celebrities who, you know, have an impact on a larger society. Twitter should have been sending him an actual, you know, suspension button for his inaccuracy and his ignorance on history.
And let me say this here. And first of all, this was the second tweet. This is even more laughable. It also suggests that personal responsibility does not count when the legacy of slavery dropped a curtain of oppression on the black race, and there's no recovering from that. The radical left says our society remains unjust to this day. Forget personal responsibility, Lord, y'all. But let me say this here. Let me go ahead and say this here. There are some people who are watching me right now, and people who are likely tweeting, you're posting on Facebook and Periscope and YouTube, and you're likely saying, Roland, you're giving these people too much attention. And then y'all, because y'all tell me the same thing when I smack down Candace Owens. Here's why. Bill O'Reilly has 3 million Twitter followers. And I keep telling y'all, this is why I don't allow lies to be stated on this show, and I can't let it go by. Because if somebody is watching and they go, Roland didn't say nothing, so clearly what so-and-so said must be true. This is why you have to push back. Because here's the deal. Let me be real clear with y'all. Mainstream media allowed Donald Trump to lie for decades. To lie about his wealth, to lie about his deal making, to lie about everything. What happened? Where did he end up? He became president of the United States. See, this is what happens when you don't push back on liars. Because then they can lie and people go, well, no one said anything. It must not be true. He must be true. It must be correct. No, that can't happen. And so in this show, we are always going to call out the liars. That's why I use hashtag Trump Lives Matter. That's why when Candace Owens started lying, running her mouth, and when Charlie Kirk started tweeting some nonsense and lying, I'm going to call him out every time, because Donald Trump is the example of what happens when you allow liars to gain a foothold, and then the lie about them being successful and rich and brilliant and smart and the greatest deal maker, then idiots fall for it and vote for fools like that for president. Hashtag, we tried to tell you. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. Folks, many of you missed it, but now is a chance for you to participate in this new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last one. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill recently passed in Congress, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, and this makes for an incredible investment opportunity. That's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is very simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Like I said, you don't want to miss out. Folks, you can go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game and get in the game now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. I'm purposely trying to walk a lot of you through this so you understand, because I keep saying on this show, we have to connect the dots.
Yes, sir.
What you have to understand is that, guys, can you pull that map back up? If you can't, I'll pull it up out here.
That's right, brother.
Follow me here, folks. When we talk about gerrymandering, and again, you're not going to have folks explain this to you on these cable networks because they don't want to do that. Whoever controls the legislature draws not just congressional districts, but the state districts. They draw state Senate districts, state representative districts, which means that what they'll do is they will draw the state districts in their favor so they can maintain control, which is why Republicans have a supermajority in Florida. Democrats can't do jack. They used to have a supermajority in North Carolina. Until the last election, Democrats were able to convince these white folks like, yo, y'all getting screwed too. They've got supermajorities in a number of places. What does that mean? That means they can pass whatever they want. Democrats can't do jack. They can yell, scream, do whatever. So the gerrymandering thing, folks, ain't about Congress. It's really about the state seats. So if you were able to draw competitive state seats, you're likely not to see whether they are red or blue, Democrat or Republican. You're likely not to see one party ruling the legislature. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. And so this is critically important for people to understand that for all you Simple Simons who sit your asses at home, who don't vote, but bitch about issues, if you don't vote for your state rep and you don't vote for your state senator, those are the people who are drawing the districts, not the members of Congress. The state representative and the state senator is drawing the very district, the member of Congress. The member of Congress has no power whatsoever in the drawing of their own congressional district.
That's right.
Right, and which is why it's particularly dangerous that we have a political party that's entertaining Russia infiltrating our elections and having no problem with that, and starting to now get into the business of being okay with election interference on that micro level. And we don't even know about the details in Florida because they won't tell us.
But also, again, for you Simple Simon ass people who really get on my nerves when it comes to this stuff, what you have to understand is not just even a question of who is now drawing the districts. It now then goes to what Republicans are doing. And again, if you can be a Republican, that's fine with me. But prove to me I'm wrong. When in Michigan, the voters put it on the ballot. A state amendment, a ballot initiative for there to be an independent commission to draw the districts, and Republicans say, we're going to ignore that.
Right.
All right.
Well, because they
Driscoll right here. We're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it.
You keep referring to the Simple Simons, right? Fundamentally, this issue of states' rights goes back to the very founding of our country, right? When we think about civil rights, when we think about the Civil War, all the way up to the Dixiecrats, right? It's always been this control of the states, right? Because
they want to control slavery.
They wanted slavery.
Right.
And to this day, they still want to control us, right? So we have to be very clear on what they're doing. This is a issue. This is historical. This has been since the beginning of time, right? So it's really history is just repeating itself, and it looks differently on the Supreme Court and the court system.
Yeah, because Republicans have great. But I got to go, Greg. In the thing you made a great point about in terms of from the beginning, federal rights and states' rights.
Right.
This is also why, again, y'all want to. If you support reparations, that's fine. But here's what you need to also be understanding, Greg, and let's speak to this. When you talk about that whole states' rights piece, that very issue goes specifically to slavery. What that was about was we are not going to let the federal folks tell us what to do. Right.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Now, let's go forward.
All right.
Dred Scott decision, that was Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You go forward to the Civil Rights Act of 1875. The Supreme Court, 8-1 decision, invalidates that.
That's right.
But then says, y'all who ain't read a damn thing, Supreme Court literally said Congress does not have the power
That's right.
to end segregation.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Because they said it was a state rights.
That's right.
Now we go through 92 years of Jim Crow. States can do whatever the hell they want to do when it comes to education, when it comes to busing, when it comes to everything. How does it get dismantled? Lawsuits, federal court, black folks go, no. If Trailways goes from Georgia into Florida, interstate commerce.
Right.
Then it changes.
Right.
Then conservatives say, damn, now they got us. And if y'all understand the system, it was because of Brown v. Board of Education. First of all, there were two, Brown 1 and Brown 2. Because of those Civil Rights Act, when you had the creation of all of these right-wing think tanks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the creation, Greg, was solely to how do we ensure the courts never do this again?
Absolutely. Well, Roland, you've just laid out the roadmap for how we beat this. We've got to be smart. And to be smart, we have to study. This isn't about hashtags or social media or disruptive technology or making the right movie or hitting the heartstrings. You see, there's never been a United States of America. Anybody who says that there has been, I know you got a digital platform now. Let's just lay it out for hour upon hour. I dare anybody to show me where there has been. What there's been is a settler state that has extended itself over a continent. And slavery was a compromise made between those areas in that settler state that didn't need it, that didn't need it directly, and those that did. That's where the Electoral College came from. Dred Scott was never completely overturned in the legal sense because Roger Taney created a notion of national and state-based identity. He says a citizen is a citizen of the state they're in and of the United States, as if there's something different. That's how he was able to create basically a federal blackness. But the Brown decision really turns on foreign policy. America couldn't keep doing what it was doing to black people as it was attempting to go out there and colonize the world in the wake of World War II. So what you have is a certain arbitrariness in federal court decisions. That's why dissents are important. Just like they talked about Justice Harlan's dissent in Plessy in the Brown case, the dissents that we see today, the one that Kagan read from the bench, for example, if the politics changes, that will become the majority, that will become law. And that's why we have to understand that we're looking at the legal universe, the American legal universe, as if it's mathematics. It's not math. This is politics. So you can't follow it from 1787 when they ratified the federal constitution to 2019 like these things make sense. They don't make sense. This is a racial gerrymander that they had the votes to overturn, so they decided to do it. But don't try to make this make sense in the wake of what has happened before. You just keep participating, and when you bang on them enough, you will be able to reverse this. But quit acting like you live in a country where they give a damn. Mitch McConnell's a white supremacist, and Russians and anybody else that will get him to his goal, he'll take it.
Well, first of all, the Russians are also white supremacists.
No question.
And here's the piece here, Lauren. When you talk about fighting, Now, and I'm reading some of y'all comments. Y'all like, oh, Roland trying to get us to vote Democrat. No, I'm trying to get you to vote common damn sense.
When did you say that? Please, Roland.
Right. I'm trying to get you to vote issue. This is very simple. This is real simple for me. This is real simple. If I support civil rights and Professor Driscoll don't support civil rights, I don't give a damn what the letter is.
Yes.
I support civil rights.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask the question.
Yes.
Do you support civil rights?
Right. Yes. Right.
If the person says no, I ain't voting for your ass. This ain't hard. Now, if there happen to be more Democrats who support civil rights and more Republicans who don't support civil rights, who the hell you think I'm going to vote for?
Bro,
the one who supports civil rights.
Let me make this point, because you today, with this immigration bill that just passed the Senate, who did we see that voted no against that bill when it first came on the floor in the House? It was Ocasio-Cortez, it was Ayanna Pressley, it was Ilhan Omar, and it was Rashida Tlaib. Now, they are Democrats, but what they said is, you can't just give money to Donald Trump. He's not going to spend it for the children. You got to take these D's and R's off. What is your interest?
And look, the Democrats, Lauren, passed an election bill today.
Yes.
184 people voted against it. How many of those were Republican?
Yeah.
All of them?
Right.
Only one Republican.
Come on.
Out of Florida, whose district the Russians access voted for paper ballots.
Right.
Now again, I'm going to say this again for you Simple Simon motherfuckers. Because I'm tired of this.
Unfiltered.
I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all with this silly ass, who ain't done this with an agenda. Let me explain it again, because y'all are clueless. Donald Trump put on the federal bench for life a white woman who is 35 years old.
From Georgia.
She graduated law school 11 years ago. That woman has a federal appointment for life. He appointed a white man in his 30s who has never in his life filed a legal brief. Let me unpack that again. This man has never filed a legal brief. Do you know how basic a legal brief is for lawyers? That man is now on the federal bench for life. So if y'all Simple Simons really want to sit here and play around with Donald Trump potentially being here for 4 more years, let me unpack it one last time before I go to Lauren. The woman who's 35. What did I tell y'all? 2043, America will be a nation, majority people of color. Did I tell y'all that? Okay. That's 24 years from now. Do the math. She's 35. Plus 24, that means she'll be 59. Let me help y'all further. Judge Damon Keith, phenomenal judge, just died. He was 96. Let's say she lived till she 96. That means that when America becomes a nation majority, people of color, that white, far right wing woman will be on the federal bench another 37 years. But some of y'all want to sit here and play games when it comes to voting, Lauren.
Yeah, well, the Republicans, again, on this version of the Republican Party understands what
Very good point.
what power and control
And
is.
this is by design.
Yeah, and they're willing to do anything to control the game, and they're going to massively resist. I mean, when you see an administration be in contempt of Congress and tell their people not to talk to anybody with no shame, they're now crossing over into
Ignore subpoena.
Right. I mean, like, the law doesn't mean anything.
Ignore subpoena. We don't care.
Once we arrive at the tipping point where they start to realize that they're outnumbered, and you saw, this entire presidency with Donald Trump has been about effectively has been about race. I mean, he said it before he even entered office, and now he's, you know, he's trying to implement policy to marginalize the largest minority group in the country.
I am just and again, Greg, people need to understand. I ain't dissing reparations.
No.
I'm not dissing you demanding stuff from Democrats. I'm not dissing the demanding of a black agenda. But what I am doing is thinking a hell of a lot bigger than some of you small-minded ass people. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, Greg, we can't say, oh, we care about civil rights. We care about this while they over here putting people in power who will rule against every single one of those things. And what they don't understand is the politician might get voted out. That legal ruling is law.
That's right.
Is precedent.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And the courts are loath to overturn precedent.
That's right.
All right.
That's why I'm like, y'all, this thing is way bigger.
It starts, though, with that election of getting that person in, just like you said before.
That's right.
But I'm telling you, the Democratic Party needs to understand that they need to wield power in a different way.
Which is why,
and
and
they don't have that understanding.
Again, a whole bunch of y'all still mad at me for calling Obama out. For appointing Merrick Garland.
Right, exactly.
And I don't give a damn what y'all think.
Exactly.
He should have picked a black woman because you know why? He should have created the damn tension.
Right.
The tension of a historic appointment of a black woman.
Right.
First in history.
Right.
In the
Leah Sears.
See, y'all don't understand. In the history of America, this is with Merrick Garland. 109 people served on the Supreme Court. 104 were white men. Had Obama picked a sister, in my estimation,
I agree.
Right.
Absolutely.
Professor Driscoll, my estimation, the tension would have been old white men not even meeting with
We
this
would have
sister.
seen, 1992 over again.
That would have been, you would have had months of what the hell are y'all doing?
And the reveal was he was trying to accommodate Mitch McConnell
and Orrin Hatch.
And it didn't work. And
the rest of the Republican senators.
And
said, this isn't good enough.
And I believe it would have further pissed off sisters.
Sure.
Right.
It would have pissed off black men.
Right.
It would have pissed off women.
Yep.
And you would have had
brown people.
this contention. Like, how y'all not even going to interview the first black woman appointed?
Right.
I believe that would have played a huge role in November.
It was his last term.
And God sent you manna from heaven.
Right.
When the Lord, and I'm invoking the Lord, the Lord said, President Obama, Paul Ryan's sister-in-law, is a black woman.
All right.
Who you already appointed to the federal bench.
Right.
Yo, do you understand how perfect the sister-in-law to the Republican Speaker of the House could have been appointed to the Supreme Court, and he would have had to go, do I say my sister-in-law, who's already a federal judge, shouldn't get a meeting? It was it. No, he picked the old white guy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because Barack Obama believes in America.
Didn't want to play hardball.
But that's not his character.
Exactly.
You see, and that's one of the reasons why I am encouraged about this political time. Well, I'm saying that, you know, since there has never really been an American concept, these Negroes who think that somehow they can appeal to somebody's conscience or sense of national interest. And Barack Obama, it wasn't his character. It's not his temperament. He can't ball his fist up. And so he did what his temperament led him to believe he should do. And he didn't miscalculate on who Mitch McConnell and them were. He's willing to risk it all, which in this case includes us as hostages in his worldview.
Right.
But let's be very clear about this, because a lot of people talking about reparations. Now, I'm glad we're talking about it, but they don't understand the history of reparations. They don't even understand the political strategies of reparations. One of the reasons why the 5-state articulation was made by Mario Deli, the Republic of New African People's Organization, was that reparations isn't about asking somebody for anything. Reparations is about, out of a position of strength, making a demand. Now, once you have political control over some states, Mississippi, Alabama, almost majority people of African descent now in Mississippi. If you seize political control, and mind you, these are Gulf Coast states. They got ports in Mobile, New Orleans. Once you do that, reparations becomes feasible in part because the federal government gonna have to make a decision. Do you want these people to exercise control over their lives locally? And let me just say this very quickly. As long as Alabama, I know the story, you know this sister who got shot and then her baby died, they're gonna charge her. Alabama wants to be a Jim Crow state.
Yes.
Y'all stop playing football for the University of Alabama.
There you go.
Watch how fast they start changing these
There you
laws.
go.
We have to now become.
There are other SEC schools to go to.
That is exactly right. We have to now be smart. And Barack Obama, God bless him, as brilliant as he was, as his terms of his capability, his lack of courage. And yes, the man did not have a lack of courage. Man had a lack of courage. His lack of courage cost black people in this country. So we have to hold him to account for what he did. That was just not only a missed opportunity, but that opportunity is going to come back around again. And we got to stop acting like, oh, this was a tragedy. Stop all that victim language and seize the political control of your life.
Y'all, this is about
See, I don't-
power. Hold on 1 second. This is about power. Daily Digital Show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
This is Diala Riddle, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Stay woke.
This is Director X, the director of Superfly on the red carpet or the black carpet, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hi, I'm Chaley Rose, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
I'm Lex Scott Davis, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Jacob Lattimore, and you're now watching Roland Martin right now.
You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play. Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Hey everybody, this is Sherry Shepherd. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, and while he's doing Unfiltered, I'm practicing the wobble. Yes, I am. Because Roland Martin's the one, he will do it backwards, he will do it on the side. He messes everybody up when he gets into the wobble, because he doesn't know how to do it, so he does it backwards. And it messes me up every single time. So I'm working on it. I got it. You got Roland Martin.
Hi, my name is LaToya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mac Wilds, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's up, y'all? It's Ryan Destiny, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What up, Lana Well, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.